Good evening, viewers. So, just a few minutes ago, I was going through the blog post of Paul Krugman. Professor Paul Krugman is one of the most distinguished economists who has also received a Nobel Prize. He writes for New York Times, and he's a professor at Cunning University, New York City. And while he is nowadays managing a wonderful and very uh, thought-provoking blog at Substack, and to my readers, Substack is one of the most innovative blog, social media blog site, and if you want, you should register with it. You can have opportunity to write blogs, detailed blog posts, or notes, or you can always have video conferences, video chats with world's most distinguished thought leaders, writers, and media personalities. So in today's blog, it was very interesting blog. Uh, what he was mentioning in the blog was that uh, President Donald Trump's commitment to democracy in the world is uh, should not be trusted as such, whereas it should be the European countries that should be the harbinger of democracy, support to democratic values, and especially they should be supporting Ukraine. I mean, though the professor did not write that what kind of support uh, European Union and European nations and mainland Europe should be extending to Ukraine in the light of recent press conference cafe that happened between President Zelensky and President Trump. He mentioned that there is a strong possibility that Trump is gonna impose tariffs on European exports to US, whereas he did mention duly that uh, European trade with US is really insignificant. It's like 3% of their total trade, which appears to be insignificant, in fact. So, uh, but the professor did not really explain what kind of strategies Europe should adopt to support Ukraine. I mean, President Zelensky is really very candid about it, that he wants some kind of security guarantees from the Americans, and that should same be the case with the Europeans. I mean, monetary help, whereas billions of dollars have been extended to Ukraine, which is very timely, which is totally justified because the Ukrainian economy has been significantly affected by the war. And when I was studying in Europe, I had many Ukrainian friends. I mean, of course, I have Russian friends as well uh, who were studying social sciences with me or who were enrolled in different PhD programs in many of the European capitals. So, in that respect, now, of course, European should extend the hand of peace with potence Russia, if you ask me. I mean, what kind of security guarantees Europe can extend to Ukraine after so many months that the war has been happening? It's been some years that the war has been happening between Russia and Ukraine. So, but anyway, what I gathered from this Paul Krugman's blog post was that he was saying that uh, the West should be supporting democracies in the world, and that's a very interesting take. I mean, of course, uh, Pakistan is a democracy. In the neighborhood, there are democracies, but then the whole world does not agree with the idea of a governor system that should be democratic. I mean, for example, we have an example of China, which is a thriving economy. It is the second largest economy in the world. While its economy is doing really, performing really well, but its political system or governance system might not be democratic. So uh, one wonders that what gives this motivation, I mean, or the right to the Western countries, or for example, the United States of America, to impose, if not promote, democracy in the world, or that, for example, Afghan war was, or war in Iraq, were both supported on the premise that the Iraq and Afghanistan should be democracies. I mean, what is a democracy? A country has a political system, a country has an economic system, and a country has a governance system. Now, political system, once you talk about politics, you ought to be talking about democracy. Whereas when you are talking about governance system and economic system, it might not be ideally placed as a democratic or a political system. So one needs to then understand evolution of the governance and economic systems in both developing countries and the developed countries, and then really analyze whether they can be thriving democracies, or they can independently take any governance method that should ensure uh, uh, economic prosperity, for example, in case of China, or that can be